everyone, I'm Amanda Sylak, and welcome to the latest episode of Tek Talk, a special series from the Markertek Studio where we shine a spotlight on our amazing customers.
Markertek Tek Talk, Carl Welden.
Amanda from Markertek here for our next episode of Tek Talk, and I am here with Carl. Carl, can you give us your name, your job title, and the company or organization that you work for?
My name is Carl Welden. I'm a production sound mixer, and Carl Welden Productions was the easy choice for a company name. I do location sound in the surrounding 7-state Northeast area.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about what a typical day in location sound looks like for you?
The end-all be-all is you're there to capture dialogue, but what makes location sound a specialty compared to all the other fields of sound is you are a mobile recordist. You go where there is no studio and you bring everything with you, set it up. It's on the go. You're in a different environment every day, and you are always just trying to do the best you can to capture dialogue there on the day, so that so we don't have to do ADR later.
Fair enough. And how did you get into location sound, and how does that tie into the background that you started with broadcast or AV all the way to where you are now?
I guess I started it as a performance artist doing spoken word, which led to a career in voiceovers and voice acting. So recording my own voice, but it got me doing live events as a master of ceremonies and presenter and MC, sort of thing. Somewhere along the way, I had to acquire more sound systems to do this sort of thing, and I started mixing sound for bands and in theaters, and was stagehanding through all that. And over the course of time somewhere, I got into broadcasting. My voice got me on the air, and I spent about 7.5 years as on-air talent and engineer, so a combo operator. So I would be mixing other people's voices, and someone asked, "Hey, can you do sound for film?" And I said, "What do I need to do that?" And I wandered into a commercial accidentally one time, and I was wearing a Shure T-shirt, and the DP asked if I was a sound guy, and they said, "You want to hold the boom?" I did, and the bug bit me right then and there, and kind of haven't looked back. It's my happy place. I'm just glad that I can make a living with microphones, whatever modality it is, whether it be broadcast, live events, or film and television production.
Through your career, going through different sound environments, how does that tie into your history with us here at Markertek?
I knew Markertek existed because when I used to tour in the theater as a puppeteer, there was a company here in Saugerties that I worked with, and he would stop by Markertek's previous location and pick up analog tape reels for his recording studio. And I'm like, we're in the middle of this village in the Catskills, why are you getting pro audio stuff from? And he's like telling me about it. So I knew it was around. And then later, as I got into production, the name just kept coming up. Markertek was sponsoring our local film festivals and getting involved in things in our area. And so it wasn't some invisible company somewhere else in the country. It was right here in the Hudson Valley in the Catskills. And I noticed more and more of my colleagues were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm picking up a load of batteries at Markertek," or I've got to go get some cables made. And it just got to be that way. And at some point where I was making decisions for other people's projects, they'd say, "We need to source item A, B, and C." And before they went somewhere far away, I said, "Do you know we have a resource right here in our area?" And they didn't. And I loved to be someone who could put the name out there and get more relationships in a local economy.
Very cool, very cool. And then, so you brought a lot of gear with you here today. Can you talk about anything here or otherwise that is really essential to you?
So, as a production sound mixer and doing location sound, like I said, I have a mobile recording studio. Having a field mixer that I can run off all day with remote power in some sort of compact form factor, where I don't have racks and racks of equipment. Everything is smaller and portable. I have a sound devices recorder getting signals from Electrosonics Wireless here, transmitters and various other receivers. Time code equipment is essential, so having sync boxes that go onto cameras, having a smart slate that burns the time code into an image in case anything else fails. Being able to, say, what's the most important thing for camera? Their lenses. For me, it's having a collection of microphones. Different microphones for different jobs. Every one of them serves a different purpose. And there's so many different applications. Yes, I'm just recording dialogue mainly, but there's so many right and wrong ways or different techniques you can employ. At the end of the day, am I just a human mic stand holding a boom pole over someone who's talking? It's more than that. So some things that I rely on regularly, things that I can't go without. Headphones. For me, I could have something standard, but having something specialized, like these are high noise headphones from Remote Audio, they would be used in aviation, but in my world, they can protect me from a loud environment. If I'm recording fire trucks or I'm on a gun range or at a sports event where things are really loud, I'm protecting my hearing, but I'm also only hearing what my microphones hear. Just like a camera person might use their viewfinder to not be distracted by the outside world. It also can reduce listening fatigue in that if I'm not in a noisy environment, I can listen at a lower level and not be blasting sound into my ears, and I'm still only hearing my microphones. My microphones, of course, they're the key to it all.
Mm-hmm.
But
I see we have some Sennheisers up there. So which ones do you have here?
So my daily drivers are often Sennheiser MKH50 super cardioid and MKH40 cardioid. Sometimes it's mounted on a boom where I'm swinging it over actors. Other times we'll hide microphones on set. We will plant them in places where you can't swing a boom. If you're doing a scene in a car, for example, I might clamp a microphone and have a wireless Lectrosonics plug-on that I can, get the signal from the forward console of a vehicle, or having it, anywhere that might be a wide shot, or some scenario where the lav might not work. Say the talent isn't wearing a shirt, for example. It would be hard to clip this to their pectoral or whatever it might be. Being able to, plant a microphone in place, it's a solution for when I can't boom and when I can't rely on the lav. I can have, tens of thousands of dollars invested in big key components, but sometimes it's little problem solvers and solutions, interconnect things, little patches, and things I'll rely on every day. Like, I've got a layered digital cinema, time code cable in my bag that I can use to sync my slate, my boxes, other cameras, and it's something I'll use every day. I had one before that failed and was messing everyone's workflow up, and so I switched to this one, and it's been failure-free, made me very happy, does everything I needed to do. It's not always about some big ticket item. It's knowing that, I can get something that'll work and won't hold up everything else going on. And so I wind up with a few other places where I find things that were made locally here, in my workflow, whether I'm going from receivers to my bag and just need, some small bit or bob.
And I see that based on the sticker, that might be one of Laird's earlier models. How long has that given you reliability, do you think?
Maybe a decade or so, I suppose. I am not too precious with my stuff, and I am in various environments and extremes, and they're rugged. They hold up to the rigors of field production. If I was working in a studio every day and things were nice and cushy, maybe I'd have everything installed and never get touched. But it's not the world I'm in, so to speak. That little bit doesn't help you guys.
And then I know we do offer some of these items at Markertek, but have you ever used any of the custom items that we have here at Markertek as well?
I have been on jobs where we called to have something made. When I worked at WGHQ in Kingston, we needed to have a cable to go from our control room to our talk studio, and there was all sorts of consumer grade stuff available. It was like 50 feet long. It's like, no, we just need to go through a wall. We need something short. We need just an odd number of channels. And my program manager was scratching his head, and I said, just ask Markertek. And next thing you know, we had the solution very quickly, and it, got the job done. It was beautiful.
Fantastic to hear. And then where can people find you online to follow your work or more about you?
if people want to find me online, I recommend they just search for me in social channels. I can point to my slate here. At Carl Welden, CarlWelden, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the usual suspects, maybe some more.
Fantastic.
I'm a searchable character.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you everyone out there for joining us for another Tech Talk, and we'll see you next time.